Kagiso, I hope you are here. Let's try this for the last time. Let's try it for the last time before we all go to sleep. Are you online, Kagiso? I need you to indicate. Okay, guys. Because Mogale Molala, I don't know what's wrong with his Facebook, or is it mine? But mine, I can add Kagiso, and Kagiso and Mohale are friends and work together. So I am going to do the live thingy with Kagiso. Kagiso, please be online. Let's see if this thing is going to work. You're not here for me to add you. You're not online, so I cannot add. Guys, if this fails, then yeah, we would have tried. Hey, not everything we can win. I get. Let's see, guys. Kagiso, with him. So I don't know. Hey, let's see. I can only see Tabang, Itumelengi, Komoto, and Kuliso to add. This exercise will have to continue another day. In any way, guys, before Kagiso comes, because I don't know when is he going to come online, I do host men deep conversations on each and every Wednesday. We started last week Wednesday, and it was a phenomenal session, and I would encourage each and every male person to join our conversations, because that is the platform, a safe platform where men open up, a platform where men share their pains, a platform where they talk without being judged, a platform where finally men can say, I am hurting, without being judged or anything. So tomorrow, 8 p.m., and the platform is not only for men. There's women that support this movement. There's women that know that men are hurting, and these women, they also want to support men. You are also welcome to join in on the platform and also give your input. However, please note, should you be joining as a woman, you're not going to be a feminist, because we do not deal with feminists. We do not deal with people that think they've got life figured out. The platform, the purpose of the platform, in fact, is to have equality. The purpose of the platform is to have coexistence. But how will we coexist if we keep on fighting against each other? How will we coexist if we pointing fingers at other gender? Women are whatever, women are whatever, women are so many names. Basadi baro, men are dogs, men are trash, men are whatever. So at the end of the day, we do not have coexistence, and this thing has been caused by the system, because the system saw that we are living in harmony, men and women, in the long time ago, generations ago. Our mothers and fathers or grandparents, they were living in harmony. They were living as one. A husband would leave, or your grandfather would leave and go Komahueng and be there for the whole entire year. And when he comes back, if he finds the wife pregnant, he won't chase away that wife. Ngwana kwa ka magae, or akira ngwana lete ngwana kwa ka magae. And another thing, le basadi, if mtate aka ikutswa le mme ko next door, aba le ngwana, ne iba gore ke ngwana rona, ke ngwana ka magae. But because the system saw the only way to defeat black people, and I'm going to be particular about my skin color, I'm talking about black people because I'm a black person. They saw that we love each other so much. There is harmony, there is love, there's respect. Now, the only way they can defeat us is through our mind, because they couldn't defeat us through our skin. They couldn't defeat us even when they were beating our grandmothers, grandparents, and all that. That thing didn't cause division. Now, the system, they decided that, okay, fine, because there's this harmony, how do we ruin them? We're going to ruin them by stripping the power by stripping the power from the men and giving it to the women. Men right now are voiceless. Men right now, they do not have anywhere to go. Basadi, they've been given rights. And men have been stripped of their power, and women have been given rights. But where are we going as a nation if we're going to continue living like that? Where is the next generation going to be should we continue like that? I am going to try to add Kagiso. I think Kagiso is on the line, okay? I'm adding Kagiso. I think the exercise will win. Kagiso, I'm you. I was just giving a background of the platform that I've created. Hi, Kagiso.
Hello, how are you? I'm enjoying this.
So awesome, thanks. And how are you?
You know how I answer this question. Mentally, I'm doing so much great. No anxiety, no depression whatsoever. Physically, a bit tired, but yes, I'm recovering with regards to that. Spiritually, it is all about spiritual growth. You know, when you realize that your time on earth was indeed a fruitful time, when you serve others, there's so much spiritual growth going on. And yes, emotionally, it's going so well with regards to friendships and love lives. So that's me in a nutshell. And how are you?
I am good, on my way to greatness.
I love it.
That's all I can say.
So I have the questions here, but I just want to give this question because I've seen that you're speaking more about it. Let's speak about the culture, because you spoke more on the culture side. So how can we just, give this clarity to say that with regards to dominance, it's not about oppression, but then it's a form of leadership, to say it's okay for a woman to be a community leader, a CEO, but they need to understand that when it comes to role playing as a couple, there's a way you can just submit as your man, and it does not automatically mean that you are being oppressed. It's okay to submit as a woman, because yes, oppression and dominance, they do have a difference. To say dominance is just to say it's in a natural instinct to say, if let's say a couple is there and there's a man and a woman, obviously as a man, it's in your natural instinct to act, to protect your woman if, let's say, an intruder comes in. So we are born to lead and you are born to protect. So it's natural. Now, can you just give that clarity to say it's okay for women to be a community leader, to be a CEO, but then when it comes to role playing as a couple, it is okay to submit to your man, to say, you being a CEO is just a role, but then it's not who you are, because women in the nutshell, they are naturally submissive. So how can you just create this clarity and just have that connection of Black men and Black women loving each other again, to say we should not embrace independence and this casual relationship, but then have a stable home and grow each other as Black men and Black women?
Thank you so much for the question, Kagisone. I am going to broadly answer your question. All right. We need to go back to the basics. Let's go back to the basics. What does the Bible say? The Bible says, in the beginning, God created a man. Again, when God created a man, then God saw that it is not good for a man to be alone. This man, let me create a companion out of the rib of a man. If God wanted women to rule, the first person that was going to be created, it was not going to be a man, but it was going to be a woman. But because God knows the important role of a man, that's why he made that man. But he said, you can never live alone. You need a companion. You need a better half. And how am I going to make that better half? I'm going to create, form this better half out of your own rib. Now,
I'm enjoying it.
Because of that, we have forgotten of what God has made. Because I spoke about the system. The system wants to ruin us as people, as human beings, because they want to benefit something. They always have to benefit. So now I'm going to talk about Black people, because these are my people. This is where I live. This is where I strive. This is where I find joy. Black people, even in the olden days, decades or generations back, they were divided by stripping men of his power and giving women rights. Now, for us to now go back to a woman remembering her position as a woman, women need to remember where they're coming from, how they came into being, how they came into existence. The existence of a woman wouldn't be there if a man was never created.
I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
So yeah,
just to add,
to answer you, just that.
No, you've said a mouthful. And just to also add on that, to say, would you say that the pursuit of feminism has made women to lose their uniqueness because they're trying to live roles and do things as men? You know, I've seen women who are just, all about this, occupying of roles which are mainly. So you see women doing manly stuff and mainly in this pursuit of feminism. Would you say that they've lost their uniqueness as women in their pursuit of feminism? Or would you say that it is something that we can just say they still have that character that they have and they're still natural to say this is who we are? Or would you say that in the pursuit of feminism, they've lost who they are? Now, on the question of the second one, which is question from Harley, it also speaks about GBV. Now, would you say that the battle between power between men and women has created a cause in the gender-based violence? To say women are also fighting this power with men, and men just want to prove it in a muscular way. Would you say that the GBV has an impact on the power struggle between these two people?
Truth of the matter is, I am not going to sit here and blame women for gender-based violence. All right? Gender-based violence, we see what we call effect. In life, there is cause, there's an effect. For the situation to be how it is, for us to have gender-based violence, we're seeing the effect. But what is the cause of men to be violent? Has anybody stopped and thought of the cause of what's making men to act how they do?
Yeah.
Because right now, it's gender-based violence against women and children. Are we saying men are not abused? Men are abused. I know so many. I talk to men on a daily basis. On my platform, men open up, hey, but those things, and it goes back to the division. Those things, they are not addressed because a male person has to be oppressed. It is a motive of the system to oppress a male person. Because now when a male person is oppressed and voiceless, then the country or the nation or the society doesn't have a direction. Women will never be leaders. It was never created like that. And when we're talking about gender-based violence, why are we saying
Yeah.
against women and children? What happens to these men that are being abused? So are we saying
Yeah.
let them continue to be silent? Let them continue because we're saying we have taught them from an early age that
Yeah.
so Mina, I'm saying to you, I am not blaming women for the power they have. I am
Yeah.
blaming the system that played with our thinking patterns, that played with our thoughts, that played with our minds to say that we are going to manipulate human beings and divide them into female and male. And after that, we will strip off men, power out of men, and give rights to women so that this man can shut up. Then the nation will be misled.
I'm loving it. I'm loving it. And I want to also bring this clarity to say we speak about it as gender-based violence, but then it's more centered on women only. To say you have never seen a case where they'll just point out or highlight the matters which men face every day, but then it is just to say it's gender-based violence, but then it's mostly centered on women. As a man, if you were to say that I want to voice my problems, it is just stigmatized to say how can you just cry as a man? How can you just voice out your issues as a man? So it has that stigmatization to say, as a man, you cannot just come out there and say, I'm being hurt, because it's stigmatized. And it's always a case that even with culture, we can just, with the initiative schools, the manhood schools, they don't allow boys to be boys, but then from the early young age, they would say you are a man. So the moment they
They
just
groom
start
you to
from an
be a
early young age and they start to cry, it is seen as a taboo because he's a man. But then they never got time to grow as boys and nurture themselves as men. So they just have the stigmatization to say, even from a boy as early as 15 years, when he comes from the culture of manhood school, they'll just say, you are a man. How can you just cry? But then have we just really said that they need to be first boys and just grow with the stages of society? Because it has been that way from the earliest stages to say boys should not cry, with the culture that we come from. So also with regards to that, let's speak about black men and the role they have in society. To say that, let's say a black man is financially struggling, would you say that with regards to how the parents or the family treat him, or maybe love life, or maybe friendships, or society in general, how do they even treat a black man with a person who has no financial capabilities? How it is it to be a black man out there and just to realize that, okay, it's still possible to be a black man with no money but have a voice? Because when you don't have any money as a black man, it is just a problem. When you go to your home, you cannot even have a voice, unlike most women. When you go to society as a black man, it is just to say that you are judged for your character and you don't have a voice. Also with love life, you cannot just deserve love as a black man. You cannot also have a role in society to say, here is my voice and I get to speak. But then with regards to women, it's a case that they has so much pity to say, if a woman is hustling and doing some cashier jobs, they'll just say she's in Bogota, she's a woman of, power. But then if it's a black man, they'll just say, associate it with baby being a broke man. So would you say that it is gender-based violence, but then when you only centered to a specific gender? Why would you say it's gender-based violence, but then it's only centered for women needs?
I didn't get your question quite clearly because you said so much statements after the question, and I lost you in that pursuit of understanding your question. And I do not want to answer something that I didn't understand. Can you just summarize your question so that my answer will be based on your question? Because now I've got answers.
So yes, let me just give the let us just give the clarity. So the first one was that uh, for the culture of manhood schools, where we come from. So would you say that it played a role to say, let's say a boys from a manhood school, initiative school. So when they come back there, they're already regarded as men, but then they're still in the ages of 14, 15 years, 16 years. But then they were not given a time to go all the stages to say, this is a transition from being a boy to a man. They just regarded as men when they come from initiative schools, whereas they don't have the capability to say, I'm a man now. They don't have to cry because they're from a manhood school. So would you say that that culture played a role on how we can just normalize men not crying? And also again, on the GBV, would you say that gender-based violence, it is a case that is only centered? Okay, you want it
Like
one by one. So yeah,
ask two
let's
questions at once, they are contradicting each other. So I'm going to answer the first one, yeah, the initiation school and all that, the culture.
Yeah.
Well, say culture played a significant role in molding a man for who he is today. Whether it's a good or a bad thing, but it played a very significant role. All right. Now, the problem didn't start at the initiation school.
Yeah.
The problem started at a very early age. And as Hangata, we as mothers are the ones that are instilling that problem. I am not pointing a finger at the mother. I know I do. Now, you see it happening with a mother that has two kids, a girl and a boy. If a boy rides a bicycle, he falls. Immediately, hey, Skala, you are a man.
Yeah. Exactly.
The same age, ngwanyana. Ha ka re a dlala mogusha ebile seng bicycle. Awa. Ha sianela kwa magae ko mama ba re o mapuntsune yo masonko ma moshi. I get So
true,
now,
true.
what are we saying to these two kids who are the same age but okay ngwanyana okay moshimane? Now we're saying girls must be mantofontofo and boys must toughen up. Now, it also goes to initiation schools, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
But before they even go to initiation school, already mentally in the subconscious mind, already is instilled. There's a blueprint that you are a man. Hence, they've got the need or the edge to go to initiation school.
Yeah.
Ngwana at the early age, ya 10 years, o tlo botsa hore mama ke nako ya komedi. Because o feel hore ke monna. O bodisa ke mang hore ke monna. It's the lessons that were taught.
Yeah, this is the foundation. And we have a question on the comments. It states that, what can you say or do to a young man who has what can you say? Okay, let me just put it in my understanding. What can you do if there is a son but does not know how to, okay, there is a son who is not having a fatherly figure in their house, but then they want to grow as men. How can we just go about solving that matter to say we can still raise the child to be a good man, but not having that fatherly figure? It's still possible for women to have that role with...
No. A woman can only be a mother. I am a single mother of two boys. Next.
Yeah.
As a single mother of two boys, I can teach them, I can love them as to a certain extent. But a male figure in a boy's child is vital. So what I do for my kids, and I'm going to give you, I'm just going to put it out there. So now, my ex-husband, who's the father of my first child, it's a very, very good father figure to both my boys. And my second born is not his, but believe you me, what he teaches him, how he loves him, the conversations that they always have, you'd think it's his child. It's because I know as a woman, there's a certain role I can play, but I can never be a father.
No, you're raising a powerful point.
A person in their lives. But they are very, very important, especially in a boy child's life. Whether it's his real father whether it's umalume, whether it's your male friends, whether it's my boyfriend, but at the end of the day, ngwana unida, I think the headset is already disturbed, but some, I'm gonna take them off. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're on fire. Please continue. Bless us, bless us, bless us.
Yes, I was saying, whether kintate wa hai umutswala ha se teng a thabile like my baby daddy a thabile wa second born, it doesn't mean hore ngwana doesn't deserve a male figure in their lives. Women need to realize that there is a role that a man needs to play in a male child's life. You can never be ntate le mme and I can make that. You are killing yourself emotionally and mentally.
No, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. And the question is one to say, what would be a way forward to say, how can we just gain back our culture and have a way forward where we can just retain that casual homes where there's just a motherly figure and a fatherly figure, because we've just embraced, casual relationships to say I can just do my life without a man and I don't need any man, and men also embrace that I can just be single and don't need a woman. How can we just retain that culture and have stable homes where just women and men are just collaborating and reconciling things, and we just gain back our culture?
According to me, what needs to be done, if it's for both men and a woman to remember who they are. A man is created to lead. A woman is created to support. And a woman's role is very vital, very important. A man can never function without a woman. That's why God created a woman. God didn't create a woman to say, wa borega, e re ko fe motho a tlo ntshang bodutu. Motho o tlo robalang le wena, motho o tlo fa. No.
Exactly.
Women should remember their role, or they are made to be the supporter. Without them, a man fails. But where do they come from? They are created from that man's rib. Now, if a man also remembers
True. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. I'm loving this. I'm loving this. True. I took that with me. It's a takeaway from my side, getting back our culture and just reminding ourselves who we are. So here's one thing that I would agree on, that women are powerful and women are those that play a significant role in our society, because from the early young age, you just spend time with your mom a lot. Even though the parent is there, but then you spend most of your time with your mom, and that's when you see that women are indeed powerful. Pardon? Wakada, wait. Yeah, I've spoken about this. Let me speak about this one.